So both Claude and ChatGPT projects are quite similar, certainly in the way you set them up, but there are some subtle differences between the light screen here, which is Claude, and the black screen here, which is ChatGPT. And we'll actually go through and set some test ones up side by side, talk about the differences in the outputs they're going to give, and actually test some of them out. You can see here on my screen that I actually use Claude projects quite extensively, and I often use them particularly for writing projects or for different clients or different styles of writing and ideas I'm trying to come up with. I've got sort of a YouTube consultant set up, I've got a local SEO consultant, press releases, an AI version of me for writing, and I've started setting something similar up in ChatGPT. You can see this is my AI Elliot writer. But when you set up a project, they're really handy because you'll see underneath each project here, for example, let's go into AI Elliot here, you'll see they actually keep a nice file, a nice folder of all the chats and conversations you've had within that project. Same in ChatGPT here. So they're a really, really great way, both of them, to stay organized. If you've got a particular client or a particular project you're working on, then you can keep all of that information, all of those conversations you've had about that particular area of your life or work in one neat folder, which is great. That's the number one benefit of folders, of projects. They're just great for organization. Number two is you can add custom instructions and custom project knowledge to get certain outputs or to train them up in certain ways. So you can see here, if we actually go and create a new personal project in Claude, you could say, what are you working on? You could say, you know, an AI writer, Elliot. In Claude, you can actually put in what you want the project or the goals or the subject of this to be, just a little description. So, write social media posts for Elliot, just as a descriptor, so you can remember what the project is about a little more. We could go and do the same thing. We could show you the same setup in ChatGPT for a new project and get those both loaded up. So you can see when you load them up, they both pop up with kind of just your usual LLM chat box here. And then you can start adding instructions and files to these areas. And I just need to add something important here. If you've got a website, but it's not actually generating you any customers, it's kind of just empty, or no one's actually inquiring or buying what you're selling, then that's exactly what I do. I help businesses turn their websites into revenue generating engines with these deep target SEO strategies. So if that sounds like something you could use help with, then there's a link in the description where you can book a free SEO strategy call with me. You can see this one for Claude. I have AI Elliot create an AI version of me for writing purposes. You can see I've actually been able to put in project knowledge and some instructions of what I want it to do. You're a ghostwriter for Elliot Prince, embodying his distinctive style. Your job is to write content that sounds authentically like him for LinkedIn, emails, blogs, etc., etc. So those are just the instructions that you can add to the projects to give it a sort of steer on what you're trying to achieve with every prompt that you're asking it to do. And you can do the same in ChatGPT as well. As you can see in this custom project, you can see the instructions. We've actually got the same instructions here as well. So they're working very similar. And the second thing you need to do is add project files. Now in here, I've given all of the information I want this project to work off, the project knowledge, if you will. So I've given it the SEO knowledge information that I want it to work off, writing styles and examples. The thing with ChatGPT is you have to add files. You can't copy and paste text and links in there. Whereas with Claude, you can actually add project knowledge in lots of different ways. So for example, in this one, I've kind of just copied and pasted a lot of text examples here. So I've actually copied and pasted some of my LinkedIn posts in here to give it some context of how I like my LinkedIn posts to be written, as well as even uploading swipe file from Justin Welsh of his top LinkedIn post to give it some idea of what viral LinkedIn posts look like, as well as some other things, emails, frameworks, copywriting frameworks, all this sort of thing. So both of these projects have this knowledge, but it's just a way you can add them in. Claude allows you to actually upload from the device, add from text, even Google Drive and stuff. Whereas ChatGPT, you just have to click add files and upload files from your computer. So it takes a little bit longer than just copy and pasting stuff in there. If you just want to go grab some examples of your writing, you can copy and paste into Claude where you can't in ChatGPT. Now, when it comes to Claude, you can use all their usual functions. So you can select the different language model you want to use in there. Mostly Claude Sonnet 4 is pretty good. Deep research mode is available. Search tools, you can have extended thinking, different styles that you want to use. So you can actually create and edit custom styles as well. So I've actually got a LinkedIn voice style in there as well, or you can have different options that are set by default. Your web search, Drive search, Gmail search, and all that sort of thing. But where ChatGPT probably excels is actually you can now use their new agent mode within projects. You can use their deep research. You can create images and web search as well as Canvas. So the image and agent mode are actually an advantage for ChatGPT. So I think ChatGPT actually gives a really nice generalist approach if you want to do a bit of everything, whereas Claude probably excels in some of the more technical analysis, coding, obviously, and actually I find it writes better as well. But essentially, they both allow you to stay really organized and actually train the output and the project knowledge that you want to work off. So if you've got a particular client or you're running it for your own business marketing, you can actually give it all the information on your brand, context about your business, examples of how you like your content written or your outputs of your proposals or anything like that, and get it to work from that project knowledge. And I'll show you how it works in a second. So let's fire them up and try out some comparisons in what they're going to output. So I've got the same prompt they're going to go. And as we know, these are designed as AI writers in my voice. So, okay, write me an email newsletter in Elliot's voice about keyword intent focusing on one problem or solution. Can you make it about writing blog posts and wondering why you're not ranking for commercial search terms, which is a common problem in the SEO world? So we could do that for ChatGPT as well. And we will leave the settings as they are because we're just writing off their normal models at the moment. And we're going to compare the outputs that come out of these two projects. But straight away, these will go into your project knowledge, your project files for this particular area. So everything is neatly filed away so you can find it. And you'll see there searching project. So it's searching the project knowledge for my email newsletter style and voice of writing tone, copywriting, SEO keyword intent. So it's getting my style and the information I need to actually go and draft my email newsletter. Whereas ChatGPT has done the same thing as well. We missed it when it was doing the search. I actually usually ask it to give me 5 hooks or subject lines to give me some choices, but we didn't. We'd just see what we've got at the moment. So both of them have finished writing. And let's compare the outputs that they put. Right. So this ChatGPT, writing blogs but no leads. Here's why you're invisible on Google. That's an okay subject line. So you're smashing out blog content every week. You're answering questions, sharing tips, even more juicy keywords, but checking your rankings and thinking. Yeah, so this is kind of close. It's like nicely formatted and broken up. And leads the user on the reader on a bit of a journey from problem into solution. It feels a little bit light, to be fair. Whereas over on Claude, we're starting with subject: why your blog posts aren't making you money, the commercial keyword trap. So similar sort of, it's a more conversational tone in their subject line. This happened to me last week. A client called up, frustrated as hell. Elliot, I've been publishing blog posts for 6 months, getting decent traffic, but zero inquiry. What gives? So it's actually gone with a bit more of a story in there rather than, I guess, just sort of empathizing with the readers' potential problems, which is quite nice. I like to use a storytelling mode in these sorts of things. I took a quick look at his content. Beautiful blog post, well written, lots of helpful information, but there was one fatal flaw. So a nice curiosity cliff into what's this flaw. So that's a nice flow through the email. Every single post was targeting informational keywords, and then it goes on to the problem, and then actually coming onto the solution of why that's happening and how to fix it, and moving on to commercial keywords. It's probably quite a bit longer than ChatGPT. So there's a balance of ChatGPT's coming out quite short and punchy, whereas Claude, for one, less EM dashes in there. Claude's actually coming out with probably a more well-rounded, long bit of content there that's actually going to get the person from problem to solution in the copy, which is really nice. So I think in terms of writing, actually Claude comes up with a better result than ChatGPT. But where ChatGPT would excel is being able to come up with an image. So we could ask it to, can you come up with a image idea to complement this? And this might be useful for wider marketing campaigns as well, if you wanted to then use it on LinkedIn or something like that. Yes, generate the image. The other thing I should say, whilst it's generating that image, I've only used 7% of the project capacity, but it is much, much bigger than ChatGPT, which I think is 20 files. Whereas Claude, you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 files already, and that's only 7% of the project capacity used. So for bigger projects and longer context windows, Claude is generally going to be the winner there. But essentially, if you like using ChatGPT and you want more organization and want to add more context into the way you're working, whether that's adding particular voice or giving it more instruction about the way your business operates to get more consistent outputs in certain ways, then ChatGPT is going to be a good all-rounder for you. It's got us a nice, it's brought out us a nice image there, which is cool. Whereas Claude, it's going to give you more project knowledge. It's going to probably write a little bit better in terms of copywriting, particular in-depth analysis or more complex coding tasks. Then Claude's going to be your winner on that. But honestly, they're very, very similar in the way they operate. And for most people, both will do a nice job in keeping things organized and giving extra context or training a project in the way you want to generate your outputs.